Chelsea, Chelsea, hey, Chelsea, Chelsea, hey, listen, we're gonna make it a blue day. I listen, la 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 la. I listen. You see the title of this live stream. I don't do enough content when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. There's a reason for that. That's not, you know what I mean? There's a reason for that. But I will get back into doing more Chelsea content. And today is that day. All right, today is that day. So if you are a Chelsea fan, yeah, you hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, because more content will be on the way. But you see what the title of this live stream, what this video is about. So let's get into it. Let's now react to, let's see the year in review 2025 for Chelsea, and then go on to, what's going to happen next with Chelsea. Yes, of course, I will talk about the current events, naturally, but let's talk about this first, because we got to make everything make sense, all right? So, without further ado, let's go to the website first. Get me, that's where we're going to go. So, obviously, we're going to go to, where is it? News. All right, there you go, news. All right. All right, so I've got my notes as well. So, we're going to try and go through this bit by bit. But yeah, man, let me know what your thoughts are on Chelsea Football Club so far. In regards to what happened in 2025. What are your standout highlights? Yeah, let me know who your player of the year is, or player of 2025, men and women and youth. Like, I need you to give me all of that. And if you're not familiar with the youth, this is what made me realize I'm a Chelsea fan, but I'm not familiar with the actual under 18 squad or the under 21s. I'm not familiar. So we need to get into that. Do you know what? Pause. No diddy. Craziness. Get it? But you know what I mean? Like, we need to understand this club. Yeah, we support this club. So what's really going on? You understand? Because I bet some of you were questioning, who's this McFarlane guy, bruv? Like, who is he, bruv? Yeah, the under 21s. You get me? So if you had known, you would have known. And I only just find out myself. But anyway, let's keep it moving. I want to get into this straight away. But where is this? You know what? I think it'll be a good idea if I was to type it. But where's the fun in that? Huh? Where's the fun in that? So obviously got the women's one there. Where's the men's one? The men's one is here somewhere, and it is right here. All right. Oh, I like that. What are Chelsea players? Okay, Chelsea women's. Anyway, forget all that. Let's focus on this. All right. So obviously these are the Chelsea men's standout stats and records from 2025. All right. By the way, I want you to go to the link in the pinned comments when it's available, yeah, and purchase your copy of the sanctioned book by Nick Powell. I believe that's how you pronounce his surname. I can't remember. If I mispronounce it, forgive me. Go purchase yours. You know what I mean? It's more or less in regards to the truth of what happened, to why, Chelsea Football Club had to be sold from Roman Abramovich. You know what I mean? Like, again, because look where we are. Because that was released this year as well, by the way. Sorry, 2025, sorry. So, let's just get straight into it. Bear with me for a second, people. All right, so it has been another successful year in the 120-year history of Chelsea Football Club, and club historian Rick Glanville and club statistician Paul Dutton look over the standout stats and record for our men's team over the last 12 months. Yeah, so shout them out for this. Yeah, so okay. Obviously comparing from the previous years. So anyway, so in 2025, we played 63 games. We won 37 games. We drawn 11 games and lost 15 games. Now, hear me out. It would be impressive had we won every single game. But to lose only 15 games and you play 63 games And within those 63 games, wait, is that hold on? That don't make no sense. Is that? Yeah, it would make sense because I'm just thinking about the cup run as well, the Europa Conference League, but then also the yeah, it would make sense because obviously the league is 38. Then yeah, so to only lose 15 games, you have to give it up to the lad. Like, give him a round of applause. They've only lost 15 games. And look, okay, yes, in 2024, they lost only 12. 2023, they lost only, they lost 23. They lost quite a lot. But in 2022, they lost 12. In 2021, we lost 10. Now, yeah, you can argue and be like, all right, but like even that's impressive. 2021, 65 games played, 39 won, 16 drawn, and 10 lost. And within that, we scored what? 108 goals and 43 games we conceded, and we kept 35 clean sheets. But let's get to 2025. All right. So we scored 119 goals and conceded only 66 goals. Yeah. And kept 25 clean sheets. To me, that's impressive. I don't care what nobody says. That's impressive. That's world champion status. Now, I say that's world champion status, but is it? Leave your answer in the comment section below. That really is impressive. It genuinely is impressive. Anyway, most games played: Marco Correa 59, Enzo Fernandez 56, Pedro Neto 56, Malagozzo 54, Moses Caicedo 52, Reece James 52. Hey, Captain Reece James in 52 games. I bet you would have never betted that Reece James would have played that many games. I bet you wouldn't have. And the fact that he's not been, it's magic because it's like he plays the next game, doesn't play a game, doesn't play in that game, doesn't play in that game, but then plays in that game. Like, it's mad how he was rotated to manage and stuff like that, but he still managed to pick up 52 games. Impressive. Anyway, most goals scored: Enzo Fernandez with 12, Pedro Neto with 12, João Pedro with 10, Cole Palmer with 10, Tyreek George with 6. Most assists: Enzo Fernandez with 11, Reece James with 8, Pedro Neto with 7, Cole Palmer with 7, Tyreek George with 6. Clean sheets: Robert Sanchez with 19 in 45 games, and Philip Jorgensen was 6 in 17 games. Biggest attendance is obviously the Club World Cup, gave me 81,118 versus PSG, 30th of July at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. I'm from NW Jersey, get me, with plenty recurs, you know. Biggest win, it was against Morecambe, 5-0. That's a bit shameless. It's Morecambe, no disrespect, it's Morecambe. But again, that would tell you. Wait, didn't Tosin score in that game, if I remember correctly? And that it was an FA Cup third round. All right, so we're going to keep it moving. We're not going to spend too much time on these articles because it's nearly been 10 minutes talking about this. Home of trophies. Following our Conference League and Club World Cup victories, Chelsea are now the most successful English club in the 21st century. Chelsea 21, Manchester City 20, Manchester United 18, Liverpool 17, Arsenal 9. Anyway. Oh, wow. There is a picture of the Club World Cup celebration without Donald Trump. Finally, we see one. So obviously, the Blues were crowned world champions after defeating Paris Saint-Germain in the Club World Cup final. All right, so key facts and highlights. In 2025, Chelsea have defeated the reigning Champions League winners Paris Saint-Germain, the current Premier League and La Liga champions Liverpool and Barcelona, and the 2025 Europa League winners Tottenham Hotspur. The Blues have won 12 home Premier League games in 2025, last beating that figure in a calendar year in 2017, which is 16. You see, like we've had an impressive home record. Wait. Chelsea have become only the second team in Premier League history to compete 50 consecutive matches without including a player aged 30 or older in the starting lineup. Aston Villa hold the record of 59 games between September 2012 and January 2014, and the Blues are just too shy of that. Now, I need you to understand something here. As much as some of us may complain that, oh, we got such a young squad, blah, blah, blah. We're like the youngest squad to win the Club World Cup, although technically in this new format, we're the first. You know what I mean? So naturally, right, you have to give credit to that. Even the Conference League, I swear we're literally the first youngest side to win the Europa Conference League. We're the youngest. So this is when people say, oh, we need experience, we need experience. Like, what are we talking about? Because age isn't experience. It's the matter of experience is doing something within a particular space and time whereby you gain that experience doing that skill or doing that work. You understand? You could work somewhere for 10 years and you've got experience. You got more experience than someone that's been working there for 1 year. Like, let me give you another example just to put it out plainly to you. So you could be working in an organization. You could be, I don't know, let's just say you started that organization when you were 16. I don't know, let's say 16. And then you've been there for like 10 years, so you're 26. Yeah. Now someone else comes in and then someone else comes in and they are 36. You now, not to say it's their first job, because it might not necessarily be their first job. It may be their first job in that particular sector, but you still have more experience in that job. Why? Because you've been working there for 10 years. Do you understand how it works? You have the experience. So I don't want to hear this nonsense that, oh, we need experience, we need more experience. Like, no, relax. What they need is just to find a way to be more consistent with their form on, like, do you know what I mean? From the very, very start to the final whistle, and not care about how the referees see and feel about them, because that's the other thing. But anyway, let's keep it moving, right? We maintained a remarkable Premier League record in March with the Blues unbeaten in a month since 2001 when Sunderland won 4-2 at the Bridge. 41 have passed since, with 33 Chelsea wins and 7 draws. We faced Djurgården. Wait. I know how to pronounce it. Djurgården. Sorry. In the two-legged UEFA Conference League semi-finals in May, in the first game of the tie, Reggie Rose became the third youngest debutant in our history, aged 16 years, 193 days. And I think shortly after he did his GCSEs, isn't it? Well, what did he do? How did he do on his GCSEs? Let me know in the comments below. Get me, Reggie Rose, if you are watching this, let me know how you did in your GCSEs, bro. Hey! But yeah, do you know what's mad? I would looking forward to seeing more of him get some minutes this season as well. It may still happen and it may not. I don't know. But anyway. So, Walsh made further Chelsea history in the second leg, included the side, the Stamford Bridge by Enzo Maresca, the youngest midfielder, became my youngest ever European starter, 16 years and 200 days. Mallorca, 17 years and 137 days, had claimed the record earlier in that campaign. So we're just out here breaking records, bro. Do you know what? That the Mac front of shirt sponsor that's cold. Can we just keep holding that, please? Like, I don't know why we're waiting. Like, what are we looking for? That, like, it looks cold. It just looks cold. All right. Walsh also wore the highest ever shirt number 81 for Chelsea, beating Mallorca with 97 with 76. Wait. You're beating my. See, these two, yeah. the partnership that they're gonna have in future, hopefully, like you know what I'm saying, it will be one of them ones where it, yeah. Anyway, and then Lewis Hall with 75 and Callum Hudson-Odoi with 70. The oldest player in our starting 11 against Real Betis in the Conference League final was Marc Cucurella at 26 years old. We became the only second side to start a major UEFA final without a player age 27 or above. Red Star Belgrade versus Borussia Mönchengladbach in 1978 to 79 UEFA final, being the first instance. In June, Trevor Chalobah became the 8th different Chelsea player to debut for England since 2019, a feature that unmatched by any other club this period. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So play for Serie A, mate. You know what I'm saying? I know they ain't in AFCON right now, but get me, he could be playing for Sierra Leone. But anyway, we keep it moving. Chelsea's 2-0 win over Los Angeles FC at the Club World Cup was the first competitive meeting between clubs from England and the United States. With 4 minutes of the 90 play of the Club World Cup against Benfica was suspended for 1 hour, 57 minutes due to a severe weather warning. The match eventually finished 4 hours, 38 minutes after it kicked off. The game saw the Blues win an extra time contest by a margin of 3 goals for just the second time, also defeating Swindon Town 5-2. Imagine beating them 52 to that's mad. And after extra time in the first round playing in 1914-15 FA Cup. So yeah, man. Let me know what your thoughts are, man. Because in fact, first of all, I didn't realize how large of an article this will be. So this is going to not delay my progress in what I want to do. It's just going to alter something else. I'll just have to give the women there's things I want to do here, but I'm looking at the time at the same time. But you see the thumbnail. The women did their thing. But I think the youth also need their shout out as well. Anyway, so Chelsea began the 2005 to 2026 seasons with just 30 days after lifting the Club World Cup in New York. Sorry, I had to pause for a moment because I'm just trying to think. Is New Jersey in New York? Hold on. Alexa, is New Jersey in New York?
No. New Jersey is located in the United States.
Alexa, where is the stadium, MetLife Stadium?
I found a Stadium Mo. Stadium Mo is 9.8
Alexa,
kilometers.
I'm asking you where.
Here at the ready.
Alexa, where is MetLife Stadium in America?
I found a MetLife. MetLife is 5,572.5 kilometers away on One MetLife Stadium Drive in East Rutherford.
Anyway, you see, I tried to use AI as helping and not helping. Either way, the final was in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And that's separate. New Jersey and New York are two separate. It's like they're close by, but not that close by. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, where was I? Clash at where was I? All right, so that marked our shortest ever break between season, 2 days fewer than the COVID-affected 2019 to 2020 to 2020 and 2020 to 21 campaigns. So, our clash at Old Trafford against Manchester United in September was the first match in the Premier League history to see 2 goals, 2 red cards, and 2 substitutions in the first half. I'm not going to lie to you. That game was absolutely mad. Enzo Maresca lost his head. He was so confused. He didn't know what to do. Because I swear her red card came out in like the first 5 minutes or something crazy like that. And Garnacho was gearing to come on, but then he changed his mind. He tried to go all defensive. Now I can understand it because you don't want to be conceding. You don't want to. You believe that the opposition are going to be pressing, which ironic they would be naturally, yeah. But the thing is, because they're going to be pressing, it will be better to bring on attackers because then you can get them on a counter. Listen, I'm not a manager, a football manager, but I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah. So I felt like that was a lesson for Enzo Maresca in general because it's like, I don't think he knew how to, because even his response was a bit strange. Like that our plans went in the rubbish after that red card. But this is the whole thing. As a manager, are you not? Oh, sorry, not as a manager. We'll get into that another day, well, later on. But shouldn't, as a head coach, shouldn't you be coaching and bringing in tactics to ensure you're countering plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, having all different type of plans. So that way, if that plan doesn't go to plan, you revert to that plan. And if that plan doesn't go to plan, you revert to that plan. But obviously, you want to make sure you don't revert to any other plans. You know what I mean? You want to make sure your plan goes to plan. But this is football. This is life. Anything can happen in football. Anything can happen. Anyway, so in that defeat, in that defeat, Robert Sanchez was first Premier League goalkeeper sent off since Thibaut Courtois in April 2016. Damn. His 5th-minute red card was Chelsea's earliest in the competition. Esteval Willian became the 3rd youngest Brazilian player to play in the Premier League, 18 years, 15 days after Raphael. Not me, but Raphael. Anyway, 18 years and 39 days, and Gabriel Martinelli, 18 years old, 2019, 18 years old and 54 days. He also became the youngest player in the competition history to get an assist and goal. His goal for Chelsea, 18 years and 120 days versus West Ham away. And that game was interesting, yeah, because Cole Palmer came off. And obviously before the game started, and it's like, that meant Esteban Willian had to be ready for his chance, and he took it. Although one could argue the mistake he made led to West Ham's goal, but after that, we took firm control. You understand? I remember the way they celebrated, man. That you never celebrate too early. Don't celebrate too early, okay? Don't do it. Don't you do it. Not against Chelsea. Not against Chelsea. There's even a compilation about that. Never celebrate too early against Chelsea. There's literally a compilation. I kid you not. Anyway, on YouTube, Reece James made his 200th Chelsea appearance against Nottingham Forest in October. Enzo Fernandez, Marco Correa, Trevor Chada, Moses Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Marco Götze also made their 100th appearance for the club during that year. That's amazing. Do you know what is even more amazing? It's the fact that we talk about Trevor Chalobah, someone from the academy, in the same year, making 100 appearances with the likes of Moses Caicedo, Malo Götze, and Marco Correa. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because, and Cole Palmer, is because they came to the club later. They're not academy products. They're not put from the academy. So that's what's even more interesting and inspiring, knowing Trevor Chalobah's experience of how he was mistreated. And one would question how he was mistreated, because the thing is not how, but more of whose call was it? Because some will argue Oh, it's the owners that are mistreating these players. And some will argue it's the manager, it's the head coach. It was Enzo Maresca, but I don't know. I really don't know. We played our 200th Champions League game proper against Ajax in October, and that game, Esteval, 18 years and 181 days, became our youngest Champions League scorer, beating the record held by Mark Gu, 19 years and 291 days. You know why I'm laughing here? Because that literally was on the same day. Yeah, we're just beating each other's records right now. It's just mad. Anyway, for just, see, you see what I'm saying? For just 33 minutes. It wasn't even long. 33 minutes. Mark Yu held that record for 33 minutes. Shout him out. The player with many faces. Reece James, 19 years and 332 days, was the record holder after scoring in the 4-4 draw with Ajax in 2019. Wow. Now, that's information I never knew. Did you? It's just the fact that we played Ajax creating a record, 2 records in one, and then not only that, our captain scored. Well, not scored. He played in that game. Sorry, my mind's all over the place with this thing. I'm like, rah. You know when you're just flabbergasted with certain stats. Anyway, Marcu Esteval, so Marcu 19, Esteval 18, Tyreek George 19. We became the first side in Champions League history to have 3 different teenagers score in a single match. You know, it's amazing to witness, man. Amazing to witness. That game was insane, though. But it's magic because there was something what I was doing, and then it aligned with when Esteval William scored that penalty. Amazing. Like he hit that with so much power. You know what I mean? Anyway, against Ajax, age 17 years old and 2 days, Walsh became our youngest Champions League debutant. The record was previously held by Dominic Solanke, who was 17 years old, 38 date in October 2014 against Maribor. So we became the first Premier League side of all time with 4 different scorers aged 21 or younger in a match in all competitions. Andre Santos, Tyreek George, Esteval, Jamie Gittens, when we overcame Wolves in the League Cup in October. Chelsea have won more Premier League games at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium than any other visiting side since the ground opened in April 2019 with 6. Our victory in November marked our 1,500 top flight win in 3,636 matches. You know, in our old stadium, it's called White Hart Lane here. Originally, that's what it's called, right? But we used to call it 3-Point Lane for a reason. Nah, man. But anyway, against Karabakh, November, Chelsea, 23 to 97 days, named the second youngest ever starting 11 average age for the English club in an away Champions League match, only behind Arsenal versus Olympiacos in December 2009, 21 years and 215 days. Now, Chelsea extended our unbeaten home Premier League record to 31 games against Everton, 18 wins, 13 draws. It's our longest run without defeat against an opponent at Stamford Bridge in our top flight history. Our previous record was 27 set against Tottenham between 1990 and 2018. That's mad. Hey, that stat is mad. But obviously, we don't want to. We're not here to talk about the previous year. We're focused on 2025. But I'm just going through this article, just realizing certain moments. But let's keep it moving, man. At Chelsea in December, at Newcastle in December, Chelsea avoided defeat in Premier League away game despite trailing by 2 or more goals at halftime for only the 4th time time. After August 1992 versus Sheffield Wednesday, 3-3. September 2020 versus West Brom, 3-3. And April 2024 versus Aston Villa, 2-2. Anyway, so Robert Sanchez assist for João Pedro at Newcastle in December was the fourth time a goalkeeper assisted a Premier League goal for Chelsea, and first since Petr Cech for a Didier Drogba goal against Tottenham Hotspur in December 2010. Wait, didn't he get okay? It was technically a pre-assist against Wolves. Because that assist was that pass there, and this is what I mean. Like, I don't necessarily like the passing from the back, but you know when the goalkeeper can do like a different level ball distribution, like what I've just seen. Well, it didn't really get the player that they wanted anyway, but I've just seen. I'm not gonna say what I'm watching yet, but I'm watching AFCON. Put it that way. But anyway, because we're live, so yeah. So anyway. So remembering our former players who lost in 2025. So rest in peace, Joey Jones from 1955 to 2025. Marvin Hinton from 1940 to 2025. So yeah, man, that's pretty. I'm not gonna say that's pretty much it in 2025, but clearly, yeah, it's amazing how much we actually won. This stat, yeah, and I'm gonna go back up to it. Do you know how impressive this stat is? Yeah, this stat is, man. This is why with Enzo Maresca, yeah, this is why he was baffling me with the substitutions and you know what I mean, the things he was doing in game. Yeah, playing 63 games, winning 37 of them, drawing only 11, and losing only 15 games, and scoring 119 goals and conceding only 66 goals and keeping 25 clean sheets. Tell me if you're not impressed by that stat alone. And one can argue and say some of those games that we lost were could have been potentially avoidable because of the mistakes we made. And that's the thing I've realized. Most of the games that we've ended up losing in 2025 was mainly because of mistakes that we made, like the mistakes we made, and sometimes starting off the game slow. Like, it's mad when you deep certain things. So I will never say the recruitment's been poor at Chelsea, or I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Because you have to understand we're basically Wonder Kid FC. Basically. And we have to accept that. Because there was a time when we had like Bertrand Traore. He was the wonder kid at one point. But he would barely got any minutes. And then when he was ready, when we thought he was going to be ready, he got injured. And that injury, do you know what I mean, didn't do him any favors. There was another one. There's so many wonder kids that we've had in and out that, yeah, man. So we are in a blessed position. And then think about it, 2025, it wasn't necessarily a bad year. Like, we won 2 trophies. 2 trophies. And to win trophies, yeah, like, I need you to understand something. To win the Club World Cup and win the Europa Conference League in like celebrating 120 years, what a way to celebrate. What a way to celebrate 120 years of existence. Yeah. 120 years and winning the Club World Cup. And we could say that we're world champions for 4 years. No other club in history could say that or do that. Only us for now. You know what I mean? And who knows? We might even maintain the trophy. Who knows? Now, so let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. All right, let me know. All right. In fact, so the next one we're going to look into, yeah, we're going to look into the women's as well, because I want us to. In fact, you know what? Yeah, let's look to the women's one if I can actually find it. Or if I can't look for the women, I'm just thinking about the time. That's what I'm looking at the time. I'm seeing the time. Because there's a lot of things that happened in 2025. Like, for example, the book that Nick Powell released. I can't remember what month he released it in, but it was one of those. It was one of those books that you need to be reading, especially if you're a Chelsea fan. The link to that is going to be in the description. Well, not in the description box, but it's going to be in the pinned comments when this live stream finishes airing. You'll be able to click on that and purchase yours. Like it's a phenomenal book. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a brief summary later, but before we get into that, so let's look at the Chelsea women's standout stats and the record from 2025. All right, I'll try to be as quick as possible because there's other things I want to get onto in regards to Chelsea Football Club. Right, so it's been another successful year or 12 months for Chelsea women, and the club historian Rick Glanfield and club statistician Paul Dunton took over the standout stats and record. Oh, look over the standout stats and records set by Sonia Bombas's side over the last 12 months. And you know what I like about this? You see, when it comes down to, so I just see Mendy at the club, the AFCON, bruv. Man, I wish he was still at Chelsea sometimes, man. Senegalese Spider-Man. But anyway, let's keep it moving. I'm just trying to look. All right. So, what I like how Rick and Paul, they basically did the stats for the look over the stats for the men's side as well. So I hope they done one for the youth. I don't think they have, but let's keep it moving anyway. All right, so in 2025, they played 42 games, won 31, drew 7, and lost only 4. Scored 101 goals and conceded only 30 goals. And kept 21 clean sheets. They kept 1 clean sheet. They basically did better in terms of clean sheet than the previous season. They did better. They lost 1 less game. Wait, yeah, All right, you got to look at it from another angle. But anyway, let's keep moving. I was gonna say something else, but you know when your thoughts are faster than how you're speaking, it's that part. All right, so most games played, obviously ABJ. Get me. With 39 games. Joanna Wrighton. JRK, all right? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to JRK with 39 games as well. Captain 38. Millie Bright, our captain, with 37. Clutch, but get me. That goal she scored in the clutch. If you know, you know. Get me. That's why I call her Clutch, but 34 games. Macarena, 34 games, most goals scored, obviously ABJ, obviously with 13. Sandy Baltimore with 10. Macarena with Macarena with 9. Clutchbert with 7. JRK with 7. Sam Kerr with 7. Just bear in mind, Sam Kerr had like a if I recall, she was still coming back from injury as well. So, you know what I mean? When she's fully back to fitness, she's going to be a problem for the ops. You hear me? Her and Lauren James, when they're fully fit and on game, they're going to be a problem for the ops. That's all I'm saying. Most assists, Sandy Baltimore. And then plus we signed Alyssa Thompson as well. And then we're also linked with Trinity Rodman. Get me? And I don't know too much about her as a player, to be honest. But get me, knowing that her dad's Dennis Rodman, we know she's because sometimes it's just in your DNA. It's just in you. Clean sheets, Anna Hampton, 17 with 32 games. Peng with 3 in 9 games. Musovic with 1 in 1 game. So basically, she starts 1 game, keeps a clean sheet. Easy things. And obviously, Hannah Hampton, she won a Yasin trophy as well, like the first woman to win a Yasin trophy. Or is that what it's called? A Yasin trophy? Basically, goalkeeper of the year for women. She's the first ever. Yeah, first ever. Like first ever. I don't think you understand how much that actually means. The first ever. Anyway, key facts and highlights. the 34,302 attendance at Stamford Bridge for the women's side against Arsenal in January set a new Chelsea record for the Women Super League home game, beating the previous, which was 32,970 set against the Gunners last March. So, I guess Arsenal help us create records. Anyway, so in March we became the first side to reach 6 consecutive Women's League Cup finals. Wow. We lifted the trophy by defeating Manchester City at 2-1 at Pride Park. You know how many times we played Man City in a matter of a week? It was mad. And then I remember there was, I think, was it the admin that posted it? Someone, or it might have been from someone else. Someone said, yeah, give me a second. So yeah, sorry. Someone said, "Can we play you every week? can we play you every week?" That's mad. That's a mad statement to make. Anyway, so in May, the Blues became the first team to record an invincible season in a 22-game Women's Super League campaign, 19 wins and 3 draws. So Sonia Bombasta is the second manager to win the Women's Super League in their first season in charge after Arsenal's Laura Harvey, who did so. In the inaugural season in 2011. Chelsea won the WSL for the 6th consecutive season and for the 9th time overall, winning 3 times as many titles as any other side, Arsenal with 3. So no matter what, we're not your age mates, Arsenal. We're not your age mates. Although they've got us there, but Arsenal has got us there with the Champions League. I'll give them that. All right, cool, whatever. But just know, soon it will be our turn, and there will be no turning back. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so in some months we became in the same month we became the first WSL team to complete a domestic treble on to complete a domestic treble on 2 separate occasions, also doing so in 2020 to 2021. So basically, get me. We keep setting levels. Chelsea set a new Women's Super League record with 34 games unbeaten streak, 28 wins, 6 draws, surpassing their previous run of 33 games from February 2019 to January 2021 after the match against Liverpool in November. Millie Bright, our captain, set a new record for appearances in the Women's Super League during the match against Liverpool in November, marking her 211th appearance. You get me? Woman like what Millie Bright, you know. But anyway, let's keep it moving. All right, so Guru reflects on the. I wish I could play this, but it might just get blocked. But anyway, so JRK made a 100th appearance for Chelsea against Man City in March. Captain Millie Bright made a 300th appearance for the club against Tottenham Hotspur in October. So 211 now. And the Guru Wrighton played the 200th match for the Blues against Brighton in December. Sam Kerr became the only second player from after Frank Kirby to score a century of goals for Chelsea in the WSL era against Aston Villa in September. So, and obviously, you have to say rest in peace to Matt Beard as well, from 1978 to 2025. That's that, man. But yeah, man. So let me know what your thoughts are, because when it comes down to these stats, you have to understand the levels have been set. And also, there was something else that was not actually mentioned in this. I believe Serena Williams and her husband Alexis are part owners of the Chelsea women's squad. Like they're part owners of it. Like so, that was amazing to witness, to see that, and then to see how Alexis on Twitter, the way he responds, the way, you know what I mean, like when like it's good to witness, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's such a like the Blues family is it's a family. It's a family. You know what I mean? And I wish the men's squad have that in terms of the fan base. In fact, let's not get into the fan base right now. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. As far as the women's stats are concerned, let me know what your standout is. I like how obviously they just consistently win trophies. Yeah. And again, I will say again, this front of shirt sponsor with Damac is like it looks cold. It looks cold. It looks absolutely cold. But yeah, man, let me just go to my notes of something else so I can make sure I get on to. So yeah, let's now talk about this book here. Let's go on to it. So sanction. Hold on. You didn't see that there. So the book sanction, yeah. Let's see when. Okay, so yeah, it was released in May 2025. All right, so Sanction, the inside story of a sale of Chelsea Football Club by Nick Perot, was released in May 2025. Now, this is what they had to say. This is a more of an audio summary, yeah? I need you to understand something. This is what's so mad, yeah? Where can I find, where was it? All right, so hopefully you can hear it. You should be able to.
Okay, so let's get into this. We're doing a deep dive into the just the extraordinary collapse and sale of Chelsea FC.
Right, and for this, we're relying completely on one source, Nick Purewell's book, Sanctioned.
And our mission today is to really unpack this stunning paradox. You have a football dynasty that was built on, pure passion, and it doesn't just end. It collapses amid war, state secrets, and what the book confirms was an actual assassination attempt.
It's an unbelievable story. And the timeline, the speed of it all in February and March of 2022.
By the way, yeah, I need you, the link to the book is going to be in the pinned comments after the stream. So make sure you know what I mean, go purchase yours.
Is just breathtaking.
So the decision to sell the club, that was March 2nd, but Abramovich wasn't anywhere near London, was he?
No, not even close. He was in Istanbul, and he was physically in the room brokering these incredibly high stakes peace talks.
Between who?
Between the Russian and Ukrainian delegations. They were in an Ottoman palace, and he was trying to stop what the book calls a lengthy and gruesome campaign.
Wow. And while he's doing that, his aides are back in the UK.
Yeah, his most trusted team is literally on the floor of the Heathrow arrivals hall, just scrambling to draft the sales statement.
The one that said Chelsea's for sale and all the proceeds would go to the victims of the war in Ukraine.
Exactly. And the shockwaves inside the club were just immediate.
Yeah.
I mean, the chairman, Bruce Buck, actually shed a tear.
And Marina Granovskaya, who basically ran the club's strategy.
She was at home with a bad case of COVID, a high.
Remember what the whole point? It was all the proceeds will go to the victims of the whole situation. The victims. You understand? Anyway, let's keep it moving. You know the deal.
Fever and had to do a double take at the news. She couldn't believe it. Meanwhile, the players are at Kenilworth Road for a cup match.
And they're just in total shock, suddenly fearing for their entire careers.
It's chaos. And that backdrop is so important. He wasn't even at the League Cup final a few days earlier because he was already on this peace mission, acting as this unofficial go-between. It involved all the...
Let's look at this for a second. I'm gonna continue it here because they said, hold on. Hold on. League Cup final, Chelsea, Roman Abramovich. Chelsea. So I want to show you something. Okay. So this was the actual statement, yeah? It said All right, so statement from Roman Abramovich. Yeah? I would like to address the speculation in the media over the past few days in relation to my ownership of Chelsea Football Club. As I've stated before, I have always taken decisions with the club's best interest at heart. In the current situation, I have therefore taken the decision to sell the club as I believe, this is the best interest for the club, the fans, the employees, as well as the club's sponsors and partners. So the sale of the club will not be fast-tracked, but will follow a due process. I will not be asking for any loans to be repaid. This has never been about business or nor money for me, but about pure passion for the game and club. Moreover, I have instructed my team to set up a charitable foundation where all net proceeds from the sale will be donated. Yeah, the foundation will be the benefit of all victims of the war in Ukraine. This includes providing critical funds towards the urgent and immediate needs of victims, as well as supporting long-term work of the recovery. Please know that this has been an incredibly difficult decision to make, and it pains me to part with the club in this manner. However, I do believe this is in the best interest of the club. I hope that I'll be able to visit Stamford Bridge one last time to say goodbye to all of you in person. It's been a privilege of a lifetime to be part of Chelsea Football Club, and I'm proud of all of our joint achievements. Chelsea Football Club and its supporters will always be in my heart. Thank you, Roman. So that was on the 2nd of obviously the 2nd of March. Yeah, I want to see something. Did Chelsea play on 2nd March 2022? We just about won, right? We just about won. Now, I want to do something. Hold on. All right, hold on. In fact, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. At least we know this, all right? Baby, let's go.
It's dangerous travel, through Warsaw, Moscow, Belarus.
Which brings us to the ultimate price of that work, the really dark part of this story.
This is the nugget. The day after the sale is announced, March 3rd, an attempt is made on his life in Kyiv.
And the symptoms that are described in the source material, they sound they're terrifying.
He woke up late at night and he couldn't see. Just temporary blindness, intense stinging pain, and then the skin started peeling from his face and hands.
Damn.
And it wasn't just him.
No. 2 of his colleagues in the peace talks had the exact same symptoms. They were all rushed to a hospital just outside Kiev.
So what?
And this is what's mad, yeah? This is not talked about often enough. No one says anything about this. But let's keep it moving. Hold on, let me see something real quick.
What did the investigations find? Was the goal to kill him?
Well, the independent experts, who were later confirmed by the journalists at Bellingcat, they concluded it was poison, but likely designed just to intimidate.
To scare them off.
To scare them off, exactly. Not necessarily to kill. And you have to remember, this happened right after a Ukrainian delegate in those same talks, Denis Kiryev, had been killed.
So the danger was very, very real.
Oh, absolutely. And as a lasting effect, Abramovich needed much stronger glasses prescriptions after the incident.
And at the same time, the political pressure from the UK is just ramping up.
Yeah. Prime Minister Boris Johnson falsely claimed he was already sanctioned. And what's wild is that the Ukrainian government actually had to call Johnson.
To ask him to hold off.
Yeah, to ask the UK to please not sanction him because they were worried it would be counterproductive to the peace process. They needed him.
It's just such a jarring pivot to go from that poison, war, secret calls between governments, back to football.
But you have to see the whole picture, because the beginning of this whole dynasty was almost whimsical, wasn't it?
Completely. The book says he decided to buy a football club after being transfixed by the atmosphere at one single game.
Man United versus Real Madrid at Old Trafford in 2003.
Yeah. It was a pure emotional impulse. That was it. And he buys Chelsea just a few months later for a record 140 million.
And you have to remember, the club was in trouble then. It was about 80 million in debt, maybe heading for insolvency. It really was a passion project.
A passion project that went on to win 19 major trophies. And his legacy was promoting on performance, not just reputation.
Exactly.
Which is how Marina Granovskaya became one of the most powerful women in world football, running their whole transfer policy.
Right. So this deep dive really shows the incredible contrast, doesn't it?
It's an extreme contrast between the personal, almost romantic passion that started it all and the raw, violent geopolitical forces that ended it. The sale wasn't about business.
No, it was dictated by a life-threatening peace mission in a war zone.
Exactly.
So it leaves you with this question to think about. Abramovich used his fortune to build Chelsea into this global icon, but the source material really suggests his greatest personal risk wasn't taken buying the club, it was taken trying to save lives.
There you go.
So when you look back at it all, does the spectacle of a football dynasty outweigh the invisible efforts to try and broker peace?
And there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are on that, and you can purchase your copy of the book you can purchase the copy of the book. Yeah. Now I need to quickly do something quickly, so bear with me, people. All right, so but look, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, yes, you can put things into perspective. Because look, 2025. Oh, here's the other thing that I forgot to mention about what happened in 2025. This happened. What happened? Well, it happened in 2026. But let's go back to it. And I'm gonna explain something. This is gonna lead on to a lot of things, yeah. This is gonna lead on to what's next for Chelsea. So I need you to really pay attention. I'm looking at the time. Give me a second. Let me just charge up this laptop before it goes off. All right. Where was we? So we're gonna get to it. Don't worry, people. Don't worry. It's very all right. So this is obviously the statement we saw on the 1st of January, 2026. Yeah. So, club statement: Enzo Maresca, Chelsea Football Club head coach Enzo Maresca have parted company. During his time at the club, Enzo led the team to success in the UEFA Conference League and the FIFA Club World Cup. Those achievements will remain an important part of the club's recent history, and we thank him for his contribution to the club. With key objectives to still to play for across the competitions, including qualification for Champions League football. Enzo and the club believe changes give the team the best chance of getting the season back on track. We wish Enzo well for the future. Now, key words here, yeah? Give the best team a chance. Give the team the best chance of getting the season back on track. Football's all about results. It's all about results. If you're not getting the results, then you know what happens. Now look, I want to show you something, yeah? Just so you guys can understand what the hell was going on. Because people want to, I get it. You want questions. Why was he sacked? Or why did he leave? What, do you know what I mean? There's questions, and I understand it. As a fan, there's questions. I want to go, instead of just going, yeah, let's go all competition. So obviously, we're going to go all the way down from here, from Barcelona. Yeah? So we picked up a phenomenal result against Barcelona. We beat them 3-0. Then we drew with Arsenal 1-1. Then we lost 3-1 to Leeds. This is where it went downhill. This is where it went downhill. Because to me, I was like, surely, as a head coach, and I don't think people understand there's a difference here between a head coach and a manager, because people keep saying manager. No, he's a head coach. And I've got my notes, so we're gonna get into that, yeah? But basically, as a head coach, you should understand your squad, especially at this time now. You should understand the squad. Yes, there's been a lot of changes in terms of recruitment, the players that have come in and all that stuff there, but you should understand your core squad. Yeah, even though I know some of the core players may be out, understandable, and then there's games in. You've got a next game on Saturday, so you have to plan ahead the same. But you still got to be thinking about the game. Thinking about that game on that day. For example, the one against Leeds, we had to focus on that, but we end up losing. Because I don't think Enzo Maresca took that serious. That hit me out. Now, then we drew against Bournemouth 0-0. Then we lost to Atalanta 2-1. Then we lost, and this, do you know what? Even within these two games here, within these 3 games, especially one against Leeds and especially one against Atalanta, the in-game management by Enzo Maresca was completely shodden. It was utterly, it was strange. It was stranger than Stranger Things, and I ain't even seen Stranger Things. Not even season 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. At least not yet. So, what's going on? Right, now, so we beat Everton 2-0. And I'll be honest, if Drewsbury Hall didn't go off injured, we probably would have drawn that, if I'm honest. Because the connection between Grealish and Drewsbury Hall, incredible so far this season, despite where they are in the league. Incredible. So, then we just about beat Cardiff. Don't let the scoreline fool you. We just about beat Cardiff. Then we drew against Newcastle, and this game was annoying. Do you know why it was annoying? Because the first half, we played like we don't know how to play football. We made so many mistakes. The German Peter Crouch, he could have flipped and scored a hat-trick. So, but we pulled off a 2-2 draw. All right, cool. And then this one really pissed me off. We lost to Aston Villa. This guy took off Marc Cucurella. Yeah, understandable. If there's an injury, I understand. But where is his replacement? I know Hato was injured as well. So the question is, how do you counter that? He saw the subs he made as well after Unai Emery made his substitutions. That changed the game for them. Like I can understand where a head coach can say, you know what? Let me kind of see where this is going. Let me figure out what they're trying to do, and let me try to counter what they're trying to do. Let me figure that out. So if they made their substitutions, all right, cool. Instead of making this substitution, we'll make this substitution because this will counter that. As soon as Marc Cucurella came off, that left side was open. The door was open for people to come in. It's mad. It's mad. It's literally mad. Like, it's mad. Aston Villa were just mad. And Jadon Sancho, like, he nearly scored on he returned back to Stamford Bridge. I'm like, what's going on? Take it easy, bruv. You're a Chelsea fan. Relax. No, but obviously be a professional and obviously you want to do your best, but that's the standard, isn't it? But like, other than that, yeah, I can never understood it. The in-game management is poor. All of these games, yeah, barring the game against Arsenal and barring the other game against Barcelona, do you know what I mean? Like I said, we're going to go from that there, but not against Burnley. We'll just do it from there. Barring those two games, all of the in-game management have been awful. Playing certain players out of position, not really starting certain players. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I get it. You want to try and manage for Fofana because obviously with him, you can't play every minute of the match or 2 games in a row. Understandable. So you got to find someone that can play alongside Trevor Chalobah, and if he can play certain games in a row. But then the 2-2 draw against Bournemouth, it felt like a loss. It feels like a loss. And here's why it feels like a loss. Again, shoddy in-game management. And what's so mad, yeah, this was the first time that I could say that this season so far, we literally were playing good in the first half. We were literally playing good in the first half. It just so happened that we collapsed. Do you know what I mean? We collapsed. We collapsed. There's no way we should have drawn it. Like this game is so mad. Like it's mad. Look at this. Yes, we were down. Like, I was wrong. Well, I say we played good in the first half, but it's more of no. Yeah, it was the first half we played good, despite them scoring first. It's just that in the second half we went to sleep. What did the manager say? And I always felt like I said this the other day. Yeah, I said raw. And I wish I was recording content then, but like, it's like he lost the dressing room. And I'm pretty sure I said it on Twitter. Enzo Maresca has lost the dressing room. There's no way you can argue with me and say he didn't lose the dressing room. He's lost the dressing room. He's lost the dressing room. Because I'm there thinking, all right, last year was one thing, yeah, because mistakes can happen and you can learn from your mistakes from last year. Understandable, right? Because I think, the lads have been here before, so maybe they might just find a way to say, you know what, this happened last time, so let's find a good way to get back our season and have a good run of games to make sure that we, you know what I mean, achieve our targets, achieve our goals. And you understand, like, that's what I was thinking, and not just the players, but the manager thinking that way. Knowing that he's a manager, a head coach. That's another thing we want to get into. Now, before we get into that, yeah, last 48 hours, Enzo Maresca. I want to see when that was, yeah. All right, in the last 48 hours into January, no. All right, I'm just looking. All right, so he said this. Okay, I think he said this on the 14th of December. Enzo Maresca's cryptic Chelsea revelation causes confusion. Yeah. He refuses to elaborate on the claims. So just bear it in mind, that was what? 14th of December, yeah? All right. Let's go back to the games, yeah? We're gonna figure out and see what's really next for Chelsea, because then can you blame the owners? Because some will argue, well, he wanted a centre back. Okay, so look, despite us winning against Everton, and then and do you see what I'm trying to say? When was that? On the 14th of December. The next game, all right, we still win. All right, we still just about win. But after that, we've still been playing not as good. Yeah, but I need you to understand something here. Why would he say this despite us winning the previous game? Why would he say it? Why would he say it? Now watch this, yeah? I need you to understand something. When did Enzo Maresca get a new agent? So, Enzo Maresca changes agents during George Mendes just therefore I can't pronounce that. Basically, in the 20th of October 2025, that's when it happened. Watch here. I want to go back to he won manager of the month for the Premier League in November, yeah, because we went on an incredible run, but still, and we still had an incredible run in October. So one would argue, why would he change agents? And George Mendes, he wants his money, bruv. You're not going to sign to him as an agent. You're not going to have him as his agent, and he's not going to get you a job where he can't be getting paid. All right, then. And I remember, there was days where they were saying that Pep Guardiola might leave Man City, so he may be Enzo Maresca may take over. Okay, but then I found out he was talking to Juventus as well. So now listen. I need you to understand something here. So we need to understand something about head coach. Yeah. So we need to understand the roles. Yeah. So we can understand what's next. Yeah. And this is where we can we can either blame the owners or whoever. Look, and head coach versus manager football. So this is just a brief overview, right? So, in football, a manager has a broad control over the entire club, handling transfers, contracts, and overall strategy, while a head coach focuses specifically on training the team, the tactics, and player development on the pitch, often working within a structure set by a director or a manager. The manager is the overall boss, whereas the head coach is the chief tactical training expert, with the trend shifting towards head coaches in clubs with directors of football. So, Enzo Maresca was always a head coach, never a manager. So, in this case, you go, okay, as far as the results are concerned, yeah, you can blame the recruitment in terms of, are the players that was brought in, are they good enough? or is it just poor management? And like I said, the in-game management has been very poor. Now, bear with me because there's something else I need to react to very soon, so I want to make sure I finish on time. Now, so that means that the manager has more overall say versus the head coach who doesn't have that much say, especially when it comes to transfers. So irrespective if they want a player or not, it's not their decision to deal with. They just have to handle the resources they have. Yeah, if you understand life and business or organizations and how they work and how they run, you will understand that, okay, it's not the owner's fault. You can't even blame the owner. In some cases, yes, you can, because they're the ones that recruited or I say the owners, but like it's not necessarily the owners, it's more of the directors. So in this case, yes, you blame the sporting directors in this case because they're the ones that scouted Enzo Maresca to be the head coach, thought they would be good, ideal for the project. Which, listen, in fairness, yes, he was. It just so happened that he basically got with a new agent, and then basically the agent was flirting with other clubs to make sure he can go to another club or get more pay. And if the owners are saying that we have this budget, you are not going to get a pay increase. You're not going to do this until you achieve all of these targets. Okay, yeah, fair enough, maybe. But until, like, if you understand business, you have to budget for stuff. You can't just give up money just like that. You can't. And yeah, you can say we've been spending money like that, but that's a different day for another story. So obviously, yes, he's the head coach. Yeah. Let's go back to the Chelsea's website, because I need you to also see this. Yeah. Enzo Maresca James. I want you to see something. I want to see. Okay, let's do it. Because I want you to see. I want you to see something. Look, even on the BBC, but I want us to go to the actual Chelsea website. Yeah, Enzo Maresca becomes Chelsea's men's head coach. That's the title. He's always been their head coach. So now that we understand what the difference is, he had a limited role in the first place, but was still responsible for what happens on the football pitch. Do you understand? To bring out the best in the players to be able to make sure they achieve the targets. Yeah? Now, I need you to understand something else. Who was the last in fact, I actually know this answer, so I'm going to put it this way, yeah? Maurizio Sarri, Chelsea, Eves. So look, I need you to understand something here. This is just so you understand timeline. Maurizio Sarri is leaving Chelsea. Maurizio Sarri is leaving Chelsea Football Club to return to Italy to become a manager of Juventus. This was back in 16th of June 2019. The two clubs have reached an agreement for the early termination of Sarri's contract with Chelsea's Football Club, which had 2 years left to run and is ending his request, right? Now, I need you to understand something. Where was it? Maybe it wasn't best. Anyway, maybe I went to the wrong thing. I should have did this instead. I should have done joins. All right, so Mauricio Sarri was appointed Chelsea's head coach, not even manager, head coach. Head coach. Makes you wonder, don't it? Hold on. Head coach or manager. Yeah, even on their website, it's head coach. So now it's got me thinking. Let's do it this way. Who was the first head coach for Chelsea? No, sorry. Who was the last manager for Chelsea? See, it says Enzo Maresca, but that's false because the head coach. So, as a manager and not a head coach. Let's see. It's handy when you go to the website. It's magic because head coach. Right, that says head coach. We'll do it this way. We're going to have to do it this way. The Italian became the third Chelsea manager. So he was a manager, not a head coach. This is what's so mad because it feels like it's blurring the lines. But I'm going to tell you this for a fact. Yeah. Manager. You see? Manager. So it almost feels like Antonio Conte. Let's see this. I mean, he was the interim manager as far as. Wait, 3 times? Oh no, 2 times. Anyway. So Frank Lampard was a head coach twice. Let's see. I'm just trying to see it properly. I mean, caretaker. Do you know what? Either way, the point I'm trying to make here, because this is not clear. This is not clear. I had my notes, so I'm gonna go to my notes. Give me a second, please. All right, so sorry about that, but while we're here, I thought let's just do this instead. The last person to hold the specific title of a manager for Chelsea was Maurizio Sarri, who left the club in June 2019. Subsequent appointments have officially held the title of head coaches. So, since Sarri's departure, Chelsea have formally used head coach titles, which reflects the modern structure where the coach focuses solely on pitch matters while a separate sporting director team handles transfers and recruitments. Keywords, yeah? Now, Frank Lampard, yeah, first permanent spell appointment as manager in July 2019, but this was the start of the title change. The club and the media have generally referred to subsequent appointments as head coach. Thomas Tuchel, head coach. Graham Potter, head coach. Mauricio Pochettino, head coach. Enzo Maresca, head coach. Now, bearing in mind, Jay, it was BlueCo that hired these ones. Yeah? So I need you to understand, and well, I guess BlueCo also hired Frank Lampard in his second term, but like, I need you to understand, we can't always blame the owners because who was Chelsea's sporting director in 2019? Marina Granovskaya. I can't pronounce her name, but you know what I mean? Right. In 2019, Chelsea didn't have an official sporting director as the club operated with a different leadership structure under owner Roman Abramovich. Marina Granovskaya effective managed player transfers and contracts as a club director. Same difference. It's just called a different, you know what I mean? But obviously they report, it's like they obviously report to the owner and it's the head coach that report to the club director. Do you understand? And it's magic because also we had a technical director in Michael Eminalo, and hopefully one day his son plays for the first team if he's that good. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, look. All I'm saying is there's a difference there's literally a difference that's happening, and this leads me on to the next thing that I'm saying, that what's next for Chelsea Football Club? Where do we go from here? Because the question now becomes, who is lead favorite to become Chelsea's next head coach? I know I misspelled it, but it doesn't matter. Now, Liam Rosenior is the current head coach of Chelsea's sister club. Let's say brother club because it's the men's squad. Is the clear front runner and leading candidate to become Chelsea's next head coach. Bookmakers have suspended betting on the market as an appointment is expected imminently. So, I say that to say this. We're now going to react to his actual interview. Yeah? This was done like 2 months ago. So, while we're here, I've got to turn on the I've got to put the headphones on. I'm going to have to give you like a static image or something, or keep this up. Or do you know what? Let's do it this way. Oh, man. Let me not do that. Matisse. We're gonna. Hey, listen, we're gonna have this up, all right? Shout out to Matisse, though, man. Shout him out all day, every day, man. He has to take this moment in. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is like he has to take this moment in. Shout him out. Shout him out all day, every day. Get me? Like for real, for real. So then obviously you have to put satire, not the real Liam Rosenior branching out. All right, so get me? Because he's obviously been on the Big Six show, DR Sports Media, Talk Sports, Sky Sports. You get me? You're gonna do more than that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like I like how he's actually changed his. I don't know what they call it because it's not a handle name because the handle name is his name, yeah. But like the fact that he's changed it to Lee Rosenior. Hey, listen, hey, I salute you for that because he actually looks like Liam Rosenior. It's crazy work. But anyway, listen, I'm going to actually react to the interview. But as you can see, what that says there. In fact, what does it even say? In fact, no, I'm gonna do it this way because if I keep this on this part, because I'm just trying to make sure the audio I can actually. Oh, what do I do? Anyway, so it says I'd like to confirm that I wish to maintain head coach of Strasbourg and have no interest in. Look, even he's acknowledging he's a head coach at Strasbourg, not manager, head coach. You understand? So yeah. But yeah, man, let's keep it moving. We're gonna share this tab instead, and then we're going to now use this tab because I don't want to make sure that I want to make sure that. In fact, give me a second, people. I need to actually use the. I need to take a little break for a second, and then we get into that. All right. Welcome, Bibbs. And then it says he says Luis, so they're asking about Luis Enrique, blah blah blah. Then they also mentioned about, he said he doesn't focus on anything outside. He just focuses on his club and his club only, and try to set them up to be the best that they can be. Like that's an incredible mindset, because you got to remember, he even said he he liked Luis Enrique when he was an actual player. Do you understand? So when you think about it like that, it's like, come on now, it's a different level. It's different level. Do you know what? Yeah, he's talking about the whole Joaquin Pacelli. I can't even pronounce his name either. Joaquin Pacelli, and how he's had a great start to the season in his first season, and then he mentioned about it, like that he was basically asked, how do you get a person hit the ground running, and then it's like he's saying, well, it's 90% to do with the player. Do you know why that's right? Because look at, for example, if he had Mudryk, if he had Mudryk would be on a different level. It's hard to explain. It's hard to really explain. But also, not just that, there's a thing, yeah, where naturally, yeah, not even naturally, it's saying he had like 6 or 7 meetings where, well, the player has 6 or 7 meetings with the coaching staff, like an hour long, showing him where the position he needs to be in. And not only that, before a player comes into the club, they have a presentation first. Do you understand? They have a presentation of how the club is. What do you know? Do you get it? Like, so they're not just coming in like a deer in headlights, if that makes any sense. Like, they're not. And I think this is fundamental, yeah, because this is why, again, I wouldn't be against Liam Rosenior being Chelsea head coach. I wouldn't be against it. With the mentality like this, yeah, and understanding this, cool. I wouldn't mind. And I also forgot to mention something, and I should have done this beforehand. But it's fine. I can still do it here. But in fact, I'll talk about it much later on because it makes more sense. But let's go. They called him an Argentinian Alan Shearer. Yeah, listen. Who are strikers like that in Chelsea right now? Liam Delap. Yeah, João Pedro proved he could score a goal or something as similar. You know, the way the hold up play and to be able to do that swivel turn and get a bit of a run and then get his goal. Like he did that ironically, did it against Newcastle. No, yeah, that was against Newcastle, if I'm right. That do you understand what I'm trying to say? Was that against Newcastle? I'm pretty sure. Who was that against? I swear that was against Newcastle. If that's against Newcastle, yeah, that's mad. Hold on. Hold on. Oh no. Hold on. Yeah, it was against Newcastle. The irony of that. The irony. The irony. Anyway, let's keep moving. Timing on headers. João Pedro. I like how he talks about credit to the recruitment team for bringing him in. Talking about Yakin. That's interesting. He said we can only affect the now, doesn't affect, can't what do you say? It can only affect the now, not their future, not the future. So he doesn't set expectations. He doesn't do it for the players either, which is very interesting. Now, some of you may question, yeah, but shouldn't you have expectation of wanting to win the league, wanting to win these trophies, wanting to do this? Cool, that's fine. But the reality is that's real. That's reality. That's life. When you set expectations, sometimes it may not go exactly that you want, the way you want it to go. You're going to feel disappointed when it doesn't go that way. But when you, obviously, when you do set expectation and get you achieve that, like how do you feel? Obviously, you're going to be happy. You're going to be jubilant, right? That's one thing. But when you're in the moment, it's hard to explain. I've been there myself. Yeah, not obviously playing football, but I'm saying I've set expectations, and then I think, do you know what I mean? It's like didn't get go the way as planned. Then I set expect, and then I may have another expectation, and it goes the way as I expected. But and I'm jubilant. But the times when I'm more in the now, and the things just happen naturally the way that it does, because you put in your best foot forward, that level of feeling can't can't match the level of feeling when you have the expectations and the expectations are met. It's a different level. That's just from personal experience. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let's go. He said he don't mind players making mistakes. Older players have made mistakes. He doesn't mind it. If you make a mistake, this is what he literally said. If you make a mistake in football, it's not a problem if the next thing you do is the right thing. Do you know what? Do you know what's interesting? What he mentioned about the mistake situation. Like people, it gives you an opportunity to learn from those mistakes, and it's just about being. Yeah, and it's so interesting how he's talking on this. I think it's worth people actually, regardless of what sector, what or how you feel about Liam Rosenior or whatever the case may be. Listen, I recommend you watch this interview properly. Obviously, yes, I'm reacting. I'm reacting, so it's a different thing. But like, I genuinely feel as though I genuinely feel people underestimate people sometimes. And when you underestimate some people, you know what I mean? It's a different level. You don't know what to expect. And I like how he doesn't think about the future like that. He just here in the now. Do you know what I mean? Let's just focus on the now. Do the best we can do in the now. But now they're going to talk about the culture stuff. Like one of these, yeah, he talks obviously in English, but he has a French translator. Like I've seen the clips. And also he mentioned that he also likes the recruitment team or everyone at the top, whatever the case may be, they allow him to do his job. And then again, remember I was talking about head coach versus manager. The head coach, the director or the sporting directors or whoever, they should allow the head coach to do their job. And I don't think I don't think Enzo Maresca was interfered with. And I get it. Sometimes, yeah, if the owners do go into the dressing room to do, like, I don't agree with that. Don't get me wrong, but like naturally, if the owners want to go in the dressing room, that's on them. How the players take it, that's on them. It's not like it's 15, 20 years ago. Do you understand? Like, how would you react? And furthermore, if the owners come into the, you want to make sure that I don't know. Let's keep moving. Let's go. Okay, the translator is Khalifa Cisse is he's assistant. I think about the culture, honestly, the culture. That's interesting. You can develop players with the 18, or you can develop players with the 38. So a coach from Chelsea's under 23s has come to Strasbourg. So what's the problem? Why if you're a Strasbourg fan, I need you to understand. we're now one and the same, all right? You get me? We're all one and the same now, all right? I know you may feel like you're a feeders club, but you're not that. A feeders club is what was that club again? There was a club that every youth talent for some reason went on loan to that club. That's a feeders club. I think it was a Dutch side. I can't even remember. But let's go. I like the fact that he said he's learned from his earlier days of being a manager where he wanted to do everything, but then he realized now it's about just he's learned that he has to delegate, and he credits his staff for everything really and truly because it gives him a chance to be speak when he needs to speak, and heard when he needs to be heard, and the players will take in everything properly, which makes sense because if you got a data analysis or a technical analysis or this that for whatever stuff, yeah, and they're telling you this about this player, this about the tactics, or this what happened in this game, and they're helping you see everything from a whole perspective, you can then conduct a meeting and be like, this is what was discussed. This is no, not this. This is what is happening. This is why. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's keep it moving now. Hey, listen, this interview with Liam Rosenior, I'm telling you something from now, yeah. Whether he becomes a Chelsea manager or not, or head coach, should I say, sorry, I think the mentality he has is going to be key to whichever club he's part of, whether it's still at Strasbourg, whether it's at Chelsea, it's going to be key. The fact that because he was asked a question about the difference between managing in the UK and managing in France, he said there is no difference because everyone is people. Everyone is an individual. This is not verbatim, but it's saying everyone is an individual. Everyone has, you know what I mean? What do you say? Something like everyone has their own needs. The body language is still the same, like which makes sense because if someone's unhappy, you will see it in their body language. If someone's angry, you see it in their body language. If someone's excited or happy, you see it in their body language, and that translates language. And you're saying he doesn't speak French, but he can, like, do you understand? It makes sense, and it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. You know, when it comes to every single manager in this or head coach, yeah, or even manager, it does make me wonder how they manage to deal with multiple nationalities. Do you understand? Because I've always wondered, how do they deal with multiple nationalities? How? But from what he said, makes sense. Because you could obviously there's one agenda. There's one agenda for the whole team, and obviously other individual agendas. But as a cohesive team, but yeah, man, the mentality he has, I'm telling you, he has that team mentality. It's not just a in I. The way he speaks with the players, the way he speaks of the coach and stuff. Even the head of Strasbourg, like you know what I mean? Those who were part of Strasbourg and then those who were part of BlueCo. Get me? Nothing but respect. Let's go. A good culture is a good culture anywhere. Oh, talking about Lakers now. He's from Sierra Leone, by the way. I'm gonna have to, even though Vincent Company recommended it, I'm gonna have to read that book, When Teams Collide. All right, let's make a note of that. When teams collide. All right. Cheese, cheese. Listen. He didn't have to mention that he's from his dad. It grew up in Brixton, South London. Yeah, but he could have easily just said, "Listen, I'm very fortunate. Like my dad grew up. Yeah, my dad is part of the game." Like he could have easily just say that because they're talking about lateness, but you have to add the extra things because the extra things because obviously they mention that he's from Sierra Leone. They mention also that 3 p.m. doesn't necessarily mean 3 p.m. And then so yeah, let's just keep it moving. The fact that he's from South London, I want him as a Chelsea manager. I don't care. You from South London? Get me? Be the first. Would he be the first manager from South London? Oh, sorry, first head coach for Chelsea at South London. All I know is he will be the second black head coach, or technically second, well, the first black head coach, because the first player manager was good Rude Hooded. And it's we'll talk about it later, yeah. But anyway, let's keep moving. Mm. Jeez. His mom's from Tooting, South London, and obviously, well, not obvious, but she's white working class from Tooting, South London. So he's South London to the core. South London to the core. It's magic because I'm like, raw. I actually, I'm not saying I grew up in Brixton, but I've been in and around Brixton as from childhood, innit? You know what I mean? Like from childhood. Same thing with Tooting as well. Get me? Tooting Beck, you know what I mean? Like Tooting Beck Glider, if you know, you know. Like which one's better? Leave your answer in the comment section below. If you're from South London, you have to answer this question. Yeah? Which Lido was better? Tooting Beck Lido or Brixton Lido? Leave your answer in the comment section below. But anyway, let's go. That's mad. That's interesting. Through his childhood, he learned that through his upbringing, because of the different cultures he's been around, everyone's just the same. That's interesting. Okay, this is interesting. Now he goes into the intricacies of the team. So he's saying there's 20 out of the 25 squad or 28 squad, 20 of them are from West African background, basic West African French background. So when you put that into perspective, let's continue. Hey, this is interesting, yeah. But that, how you still got to be professional? Let's be real. But like he said, he knows that you can't tell them to be come to come in at 9 a.m. and to eat at 9:15, meeting at 10 a.m. And it's like, because it's not that they are disrespectful. It's just the simple fact that they're from they're from a different culture. You know what I mean? So they're not going to be as disciplined to it properly. You know, it's hard to explain. I get it, because if you noticed, yeah, do you know what's mad? Do you know what's mad about this whole conversation, this whole situation, this segment here in this interview? It's the fact that 9 out of 10 times here, when it comes to my live streams, for some reason, I am always late. I literally schedule it. Yeah, I'm late. Sometimes I'm 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late, an hour late. I still show up, but I can still give you the quality that's needed anyway. That I can afford to give you the quality that's needed. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this: yeah, he mentioned he made a reference to his own life, yeah, where he would met with family or whatever. And he's mentioned that we got we're meant to meet his aunties or go with his aunties or something like that. Go to Brixton for 2 p.m. It's supposed to be in 2 p.m. for 2 p.m., but they don't show up until like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Hey, it is what it is though. Like I understand it. That's black timing. That's African timing, bro. What can I say? It is what it is. Oh, that's funny, man. That is literally funny. But you still gotta be. This is why I'm like, you still gotta be professional. As like, if you're a footballer, a professional footballer, you still have to show up on time. Mm, okay, fair enough. Wow. He said if you set rules and boundaries within a group, people will break those rules and boundaries, and it creates conflict within the group. And this is interesting, yeah. This is making me realize who created the bomb squad in Chelsea. Was it Enzo Maresca? Who created it? Because it reminds me of the time when Maurizio Sarri was at Chelsea, and I remember, I think it was towards who was it? Was it Diego Costa? I can't even remember. There was something that happened, and he made him train away from the team. Like I think it was Diego Costa. I can't remember verbatim, and it does make you wonder. Like it literally makes you wonder with all these players there that are within the team, and they see that. Do they see it as, oh wait, we got to fix up, got to make sure we don't do X, Y, Z, blah blah blah, or do they see it as, okay, well, I like this person, but how they're being treated, I don't like the way they're being treated, but like if they, do you know what I mean? Even if they didn't get away with it, I'm gonna try, and then, do you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but the point is, he's right. Conflict within a group because you set boundaries and rules, but again, the whole point is you want to be a professional and play to win. Okay, I like that. Like I said, it might be different at other clubs, but this is what works here. Because I was wondering if he comes to Chelsea, I don't think that can run. If I'm honest with you, I genuinely don't. And aside from that, yeah, I reckon Reece James is the type of person to make sure that every player shows up on time, come to training on time. I feel like Reece James is that guy. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not saying it's like I'm not saying he's John Terry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they're both one of the greatest defenders in the world, let's be honest. But like, and they've arguably lifted major trophies with Chelsea, like John Terry being our most successful captain so far to date. And then obviously Reece James has lifted the Club World Cup with us. He's also lifted the Europa Conference League. But anyway, look, I'm talking about as a captain because he's obviously won the Champions League before, but he wasn't a captain then. So, um, so the point I'm trying to make is, yeah, you have to understand. Is it down to the captain that sets this? Because I don't know. I think it blurs the lines with different clubs. I think with Strasbourg, they can just about get away with it because they're not known to consistently win trophies over a consecutive amount of seasons. Do you understand? Like, they're not. No disrespect to Strasbourg. I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just trying to understand like why this would work. And obviously, if they're playing well on the field, I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? If you're playing awful on the field, then it does matter. Do you get it? Because you have to work on your mistakes and the problems that are there to solve those problems to make sure you do better. But let's go. Wait. You used Amarim as an example, not Liam Rosenior. I forgot this guy's name, but one of the guys that's interviewing Liam Rosenior. You're using Amarim as an example. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't. You're saying 7 minutes. What do you say? You said 7 minutes of Gen Z. You can't give them a meeting of 7 to 8 minutes in video, blah blah blah. Because if anything, you know what I mean? They won't pay attention. I believe that's false, and I could be wrong because obviously I don't coach a side, but I'm just saying it all depends on certain things. Because obviously, if it piques their interest on a different level and they want to improve and they want to win, they're going to make sure they pay attention. But let's go. That's interesting. Yeah, that's true. See, that's absolutely right. No matter the age, if you're sat in a meeting too long, it is boring. But how long is long? That's like asking how long is a piece of string. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I like how he said how. What did he say? He said something really interesting. He said, if you, I forgot what he said. He said something mad interesting. I lost track. I forgot what it was. I'm not gonna rewind it though. Okay, yeah, he said just said it's not the time limit, it's content limit because he thought he felt like um the generation now or Gen Z they are more demanding because they ask questions. They want to know why, and he said he likes that because they buy into it more. Because whereas when he was playing, if a coach or the manager tells him to run into a brick wall, he would do it, not knowing the reason why. He would just do it because obviously at that certain errors, you just know whatever they're telling you is for your own good. Whereas the players, the generation now or Gen Z, they may feel like they know it's good for them, but they got to figure they have to know it's good, they have to know why. And I like that because obviously you have to be inquisitive, and the more inquisitive you are, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you develop. It's a no-brainer. Talks about life, presents it in a different way, makes it humorous. Okay. Talks about life, books, history. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Okay, so I also basically said Liam Rosener's leadership. He said, "I don't want to blow your trumpet." Basically, pause. No, did he? Basically saying, "But your leadership sound like it's very intuitive," and that's very interesting because you got to follow your instincts. Have you noticed, yeah, when you follow your instincts, things go in like the way that you feel it should go. But when you don't follow your instincts and knowing that you had an instinct about the situation and you went against your instinct, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, I should have followed my instinct. I should have followed my gut instinct. I had a gut feeling about this, but I didn't do X, Y, Z. Whereas when the situation happens and you do it and you follow through with your instincts, be like, my gut instinct told me I was right. You know what I mean? But let's go. And sometimes your gut instincts can save you from situations. You know what I mean? Situations that get me. Yeah, let's go. You answered that question. Say where? Nah, wait. His mom was a social worker and she used to foster children. Wow. I wanted more at Chelsea, even more. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If he was to come to Chelsea, I promise you, yeah, I'm going to be able to. I'll be, again. I'm not fussed who comes to Chelsea. I'm more care about. I more care about if they can do the job, and it's clear to me he can do the job. But it's not just that. I'll talk about it further in this situation and after a bit after if possible. But let's go. But yeah, the fact that his mum's was a social worker, and the fact that he's from South London, for me, it's a double thing. But yeah. I yeah, it was in the most. Jeez. The fact that he's saying sometimes it's not about telling people you loved or telling it's not obviously you have to tell them the constructive criticism, but you're telling them out of love. Do you understand? And yeah, listen, whether he book again, whether for me it just seemed like the best managers. I want to do. I might do this for another day for another topic here, but I want to see managers versus head coaches, what the stats are. Do you understand? And the personalities behind these people, these individuals, the ones that are highly successful. I want to see something because he talks a good talk. Let's be. I'm going to be all the way 100. He talks a good talk, but let's keep it moving. Let's go. Mm. Key words. If you want to get the best out of people, you have to get to know them. Do you agree with that? Leave your answer in the comment section below. Do you agree with what Liam Rosenior said? If you want to get the best out of people, you don't need to be screaming and shouting at them. You need to get to know them. And also, sometimes there are some individuals that would prefer to be screaming and shouted at. That's on an individual basis. But overall, as a human being, you don't want to be screaming and shout at, especially if you've done something wrong. Mm. He said it's about giving players accountability. Yeah, this is interesting. I like what he's saying, and he's also mentioned about education. Do you understand? Because obviously the question was in reference to, players. Obviously, Strasbourg have one of the youngest squads. So how do you, it's like you're guiding them to be men, but obviously the fans in general want to see their club win. I'm not saying the question verbatim, but like basically, they if things don't go well, they're treated with all sorts of expertitives. That's what the word that was used. Get me? So basically, they're disrespected. Let's be real. Because as Chelsea fans, this is what tends to genuinely happen. We forget that most of these players are young, but we expect them to do well every single game for 90 minutes plus injury time. Let's be real. Let's be real. And when they do well, we obviously congratulate them. We hype them up. We're happy. But when they don't do well, do you understand? We have to be realistic. And it's not even just that. Even the times where the players were of the average squad age of 28 or 29 or whatever the case may be, it's still the same thing. We still expect them to be consistent every single game. Like Drogba's had bad matches. John Terry's had some awful matches. Like, you know what I mean? But Thiago Silva, when he first came to Chelsea, yeah, the first, like, I don't know how many games, but I remember he had very poor games. Marc Cucurella had very poor games. But obviously, I don't want to talk about Marc Cucurella. I'm talking about, because of the age we're talking about, Thiago Silva had a very bad games, and then went on to excel even further. So the point I'm trying to make is you have to understand that it is what it is. All right, let's go. He said, having a young team has its benefits. They're fearless. They have that growth mentality. Do you understand? Like, I listen. I like that. I like that. But let's be real. He showed these clips, showed the team clips of Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and Chelsea, because that's the bar. That's where they want to be. The fact that he said Chelsea, he's mentioned Chelsea 3 times in this interview, by the way. 3 times. 3 times. Like, and it's all natural. He's not even being asked about Chelsea. We got to bear in mind, this interview was done 2 months ago. Yeah. We're in the 3rd of January 2026. So just bear that in mind. And he wasn't linked to Chelsea then. You know what I mean? But I have seen him being linked to, I think, Fulham. But I'm like, even when I saw that, I'm like, in my mind, I was thinking, I don't want him at Fulham though. Like, I want him to have a chance at Chelsea one day. That was just I wasn't, hear me out, yeah? I'm just thinking about the streamline. Yeah, if you want, sometimes success is about streamline. You have to understand, if this is the formula in terms of how how you want to coach players or develop players, do you know what I mean? But anyway, obviously, what matters also is winning trophies. So if they can deliver that, they can deliver it. Because let's be real, Enzo Maresca hadn't won a trophy as a manager or a head coach before. Deep that for a minute. All right then. Yeah, he said coaching is more people skills. Contact with the character, connection with the group, waking up to the outlook. At any level of football in the industry. I like that. I respect that. I respect that. Oh yeah, he had the connection with Wayne Rooney. Right, he thanks Wayne Rooney for where he's at now. Bear with me for a few moments. Just make sure you hit the like button, turn your post notification, leave a comment in the comments below. Let me know who would you prefer to be a Chelsea manager. Um, Give me your top 5 candidates who you think should be Chelsea manager. Yeah, leave your answer in the comments below. All right, people, I'm back. Let's go. BlueCo. Okay, this is interesting. So basically, he's saying from when he took over as head coach, he asked the fans to just trust him or whatever the case may be. And he's right. It takes time to build trust, and this is why it's such a mad moment. Yeah, because it's like as much as he's been linked with to be the head coach of Chelsea and take over Chelsea during mid-season. It's like, okay, well, that's one thing. What about the next? You know what I mean? Like, who comes in after him that's going to be just as good or better? Do you understand? So if they end up being worse, they're not going to like the fans, the ultras are not going to like the owners, just as well as most fans at Chelsea do not like the owners. It's mad. Like, so you have to think deep, the whole perspective of things. Like, how do you build a trust in a multi-club situation? How? Like, how do you do that? And I think, in respect to Liam Rosenior, yeah, he's in a difficult situation because, like, now if they want him and it's imminent, and it's mad because it seemed like it's imminent that he's gonna be signing to Chelsea for head coach. It seemed like it's imminent, so that means it's going to happen. But we can never say never until it's official on the Chelsea website. Until we see that on the Chelsea website, and until we see it on the Chelsea Football Club YouTube channel, we don't know. We can never say that. We can never say it's happening. But the Athletic, who they've more or less said Liam Rosenior is the front runner. So, and it's ironic that I'm reacting to Liam Rosenior's interview on the Athletic FC podcast, which is from the Athletic. So, they take that as you will. Without trust, you can't do anything in life. That's interesting. He literally just said, BlueCo trust him, Mark Keller trusts him, who's basically, I forgot what role he is at Strasbourg, but he clearly is a individual that's just hold that high regard. So he trusts Liam Rosenior, and Liam Rosenior trusts him, but then also the players trust Liam Rosenior. So that questioning and not questioning, that cohesiveness makes a lot of sense in every situation. If you can't trust, if one can't trust the other in terms of the lineage, not lineage, I forgot what word it is, but the hierarchy, the whole system, then the whole system fails. Let's go. I said, have your mates back. Good question. Player turnover. They said the same thing. It's a good question about player turnover. Damn. A whole 15 players out and 13 players in. Uh-huh. Now that's interesting. He says that he feels fortunate because at the club, he has say on to be able to select the players that can stay and that should be able to move on. That's interesting. Because if he was to come to Chelsea, would he still have the same? Because remember what we reacted to before, we made sure we looked at the difference between a head coach and a manager. And obviously, a head coach is very limited. They got no control of what happens when it comes to recruitment. No control. They may have a say, not say, but they may have a query and be like, can you sign this player? this player will be a good fit. And if the sporting directors look at the player and be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe we'll sign him. Or maybe like, he looks like a good fit, but we're not going to sign him anyway. You don't know what can happen. I think there is that level of communication. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like if there's no understanding that regardless of what query you have in mind or the head coach has in mind, whether they get brought into the squad or not, or whether they leave the squad or the players leave the team or not, you have to just take it on a chin, innit? You know what I mean? Take it on a chin. You know your job. You're limited. But let's go. Mm. Okay, it's about keeping important players. Once again, he's hyping up the rest of the team. Do you understand? The kitmen, the physios. Teamwork makes the dream work. Because I don't think people understand the amount of people and individuals in a actual football club that help the football club run. Do you understand? It's not just the owners. It's not just the sporting directors. It's not just, you know what I mean? It's everybody. Even the fans, the supporters help run the club. They may not have say, but like they help run the club. Let's go. I was ready to just come to the team. Do you know what I mean? How do you sign me up? He's ready. You can tell because obviously, like you have what song was they dancing to? I think Emmanuel Amigo. This is what I'm trying to say. They're the French Mandem FC. You understand? You understand what I'm trying to say? But man, I listen. Like if you can't enjoy life, man, enjoy life. Enjoy life. Enjoy life, man. And I think that builds a good team camaraderie because it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, because even I seen a clip that's been every time. Well, I seen a clip of John Terry. I know this is years ago, but like he was dancing to some Afro beats. Now you would think to yourself, John Terry, but you got to remember who was in his squad. You have Didier Drogba, John Obi Mikel, Michael Essen. These guys are going to put him on game. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so this is in October because he said it's up. They said this is about Black History Month, and it's currently Black History Month in the UK. So this is interesting. All right, let's go. Representation on and off the pitch. Mm. Okay, repeating the same thing again, but I get it. Like because they're asked about like how important is it to see representation, and he's one of the few black managers, and that's interesting, yeah, because it's like before him was a black manager, was Patrick Vieira. Like he was a quality bowler when he was a player, and it's so mad when you deep the contrast that there's some players that were quality bowlers at high level, and sometimes they can be a not so good of a manager. You understand? And that's irrespective of race or whatever the case may be. Do you know what I'm saying? That's irrespective of that. Because no disrespect, look at Wayne Rooney. Like they mentioned Wayne Rooney in this episode as well. So it's like, all right. So no, for real though. Look, it represents that the fact that he's mentioned, he's very fortunate and lucky to, come from a mixed background. Like his mom's white, his dad's black. You know what I mean? And he's like, I realized from early on that everyone's the same. There you go. Common value and common cause are the same. No matter where you're from. Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I like the fact that he referenced about Emmanuel Amigo, yeah, because he's saying some people will say he's difficult, but it's not that. It's the fact of the cultural differences. It's the fact of he's actually Nigerian, well, Dutch Nigerian, and the fact is the telltale signs of how he is, and they're saying you don't know what you don't know, and what you don't know doesn't mean it's negative. That sometimes what you don't know could be positive, and it's absolutely right. Look, if someone is loud, yeah, this is just a prime example. If someone is loud, happy, outgoing, blaring, and it's a, look, I'm gonna give you a prime example. It's a black person that's loud, blaring, all that stuff. They're playing music on the bus, for example. No, in fact, they're just loud, whatever. Some people look at that and be like, that's rude there, or why they're so loud. Yeah. But then someone from another background, they could be Caucasian or white, and then they could also be loud. But who gets looked at on a negative level versus, do you know what I mean? And one could say culture, how do you, it's mad, isn't it? So how we perceive things is mad. How some things are perceived is mad. So the point I'm trying to make is what Ian Rosenior is saying is right. If everyone is, if the club in general is not talking about just the numbers of head coaches just being black, it should be about the value that they bring, and not only that on the other level, the coaching staff has to be multicultural as well, and then the players will develop quicker. He's absolutely right. He's right. He's right. Hey, listen, he is dropping gems. He's saying with multicultural staff, if you don't have them in your team, like as in the coaching staff, you will miss the blind spots of what the players have. You will miss the blind spots of certain things, or whatever the case was. I forgot the words verbatim, and he says you're missing a point. You know what I mean? You're literally missing some things because the way that these players would develop, because there's familiarity, and it makes sense. Let's look for example, Liam Delap. Why is he so bullish? Why is he moving like a British bulldog? Like, no joke, yeah. Like, all jokes aside, why is he moving like a British bulldog? We got to find out why, yeah. Then also, you have to understand. Okay, we know that Brazilian players, that João Pedro, Andre Santos, Stavalian, they like to play with flair and play with freedom. So does Cole Palmer, by the way. Do you know what I mean? That's play with freedom. So again, I'm not to blame Enzo Maresca because he did the best he could at the particular moment he could until he self-sabotaged. But like, it almost feels like, because remember, Cole Palmer said, yeah, in his interview after we beat Real Betis, like he mentioned that he was tired of playing sideways. And then Enzo Maresca's response was, I never told him to do that, or whatever the case may be. But that's a lie. You're a head coach. Your job is to give the tactics. The player's job is to listen to the manager and implement the manager's tactics. And often throughout the European Conference League, I remember he always said that was the plan. Play slowly at the beginning. I can't remember what verbatim. It's like play slowly, build up play, and then, you know what I mean? And then go further and intensify and get the goals in a second leg goal. Not just get the goals, but make sure you do your best to try and win the game or something. I forgot word verbatim. But you will see a certain pattern. And you cannot tell me that is not Enzo Maresca. That is. But let's go. He's dropping gems. They literally just, I literally just asked him, where's your next destination? Like, Premier League? he's sticking to the fact that he's ambition, not ambition. Like his mindset is, I'm in the now. I'm focusing on the now. It's about the club. And listen, yes, the Premier League is probably one. He don't say this verbatim, but obviously, the Premier League is one of the greatest leagues. But it was also referenced at the end of the day. So is League On. I mean, we may want to call it a farmers league because PSG is always winning it. But all jokes aside, look, you didn't see Paul Pogba on his return back to football after that unfortunate situation at Ban. He's, you know what I mean? He plays for Monaco. I think who's that player that used to play for Brazil? I don't know if it's a permanent transfer, but like he now plays for Monaco. So when you deep it, it's only a matter of time. I would love to, obviously, like all jokes aside, because they're trying to say he's being political, yeah. So he's like, look, I would love to, like, one day work in the Premier League. Liam Rosenior, why did you say that? Because now people are going to run with this. They're going to run with this. Okay, he wants to manage England one day. That's interesting. I thought he could say Sierra Leone, but all right. I mean, Sierra Leone not even an AFCON yet, so well, this for this year anyway. But anyway, let's go. He focuses on basically Strasbourg. Hear that? For Alchemist. Yeah, I've read that before. Old Man in the Sea, okay. Shawshank Redemption. I need to read the book, but I've seen him before. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Huh? Huh? Okay. Oh look, so much of the story. We ain't gonna watch it though. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I shout out to, like, honestly, yeah, shout out to Liam Rosenior and yeah, man, Io and Carl Anchor. Well, Io and Carl. This was. Someone said, look, if you're here after Maresca was sacked, tap in. Hey, yo, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the reasons why I'm in. What a thoughtful, intelligent, decent person. The interview could be used as a study in MBA courses. He is definitely one to watch. He's going to end up at a big club. And they said that 2 months ago. Thank you, Mr. Maresca. They love him. It's done. It is done. I want to see Mr. Rosenior at Chelsea. Hey, hey. Now, whether they're a Chelsea fan or not, I don't know. You know how some people like to troll. Anyway, the fact that he is from South London, and most importantly, his mindset, yeah, he could end up doing well if he sucks. If he ends up at Chelsea FC, I have no doubts about it. I am not even being biased. So, Matisse, welcome to Chelsea. Oh, let me do this. Matisse, aka Liam Rose Senior. But yeah, man, it was a very interesting interview, yeah. But I need to, before we get up out here, I need to actually show you something because they're talking about Black History Month, Watch this. Because we're talking about managers, yeah, experience. And I was going to go through a whole list, but I'm going to do it for another day, for another video, because I've been on this for a bit, way too long. So I'm going to do this, because I need to make sure this is off of my mind right now. Otherwise, if I don't do this now, it's going to bug me. What was it? Rude. Rooted first Chelsea black. Hold on. I need you to understand something, yeah? Because you lot are seeing on here. All right, so Ruud Gullit was Chelsea's first black manager and the first black manager to win a major trophy in English football history when he guided the team to the 1997 FA Cup title. He managed Chelsea from 1996 to 1998. Yeah? Watch this, yeah? Key achievements, historic achievements. Historic win. Ruud Gullit became the first non-British manager and the first black manager to win the FA Cup. Ended a drought. The 1997 FA Cup victory was Chelsea's first major trophy in 26 years. We have to thank Ruud Gullit for giving us the foundation. Yes, we won trophies prior to that, but 26-year drought? Come on. That's way too long. Now, so for even one trophy, that's way too long. So anyway, I say that to say this. He built the foundation to the point where we're consistently winning trophies. Look, I became a Chelsea fan in 95-96 season. So it's like throughout my life, I've always seen Chelsea win trophies. There's been some seasons when we haven't, but I've always seen them more or less win trophies. So I can get why I can have a sense of an entitlement. Now, if you come from the era where Roman Abramovich took over, again, you could have a sense of entitlement because we're used to winning trophies. 19 trophies in 20 years. That's astonishing. So I get it, where we have that sense of entitlement. But look at this, yeah? Even this, yeah? He led Chelsea to the 6th place finish in the Premier League in his first season as a manager, and he had no experience being a manager. So let's stop talking about experience. Let's stop that. Stop it. But we're going to talk about that for another day, for another subject. When the new head coach is hired, we will talk about this even further, because I need to let you understand. We're going to go through the history of every Chelsea manager, then every Chelsea head coach, and the success they have had at their first stint at being the Chelsea manager, or even, another day. I don't know. whether they've been a manager before or not. Because it's, yes, experience matters, but let's go say one more thing before we get out of here. Revitalize the club. Hoodet's arrival and management are credited with helping modernize the revolutionize the club, attracting top foreign players and setting the stage for future success. Yeah, future successes, not even successes. He was dismissed in February 1998 with Chelsea in the second place in the Premier League and still in contention for 3 other trophies. Now, so if Liam Rosenior becomes the manager, it is what it is, all right? Shout out to every Chelsea fan, get me? But let's keep it moving. I appreciate you guys for watching, get me? Honestly, man, shout out to all the Chelsea fans. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications. I will do more content around Chelsea. It might just be it depends on certain things. I'll figure out something. But anyway,